So it's the day after, and I have just been to the local shop to buy some new oil and to get some very, very expensive fuel. At the moment, 1 liter of that is 2.2 euros, I think. So it's really expensive. But I'm gonna fill some of that, then fill some new oil into it, and then we can try to crank it at least. And let's see if we can take the oil filter out. I'm just gonna get a tray underneath there. Old filter out, and then a new oil filter. Just gonna lube up the oil ring. There we go. It looks all right now. What I'm going to do now is I'm gonna disconnect the coil because I don't want it to spark necessarily to begin with, because I want to check for oil pressure. And I would also like to get some fuel pumped up to the carb. I don't know if the needle valves and all that is working, but I'm going to disconnect the ignition coil to begin with. And then let's step into the brown living room. Hello. But let's try. Oh, it's getting so exciting to put it in ignition. Maybe I should put the battery back in. And then let's try one more time. Yeah, we got the light. I presume that this is the oil light. We don't have an oil gauge, so I presume that's the oil light, and we want that to go out when we crank it. If it even cranks, I don't know. Oh, let's try. Nope, nothing happens. Not the starter, I didn't engage or anything. Oh, wait a second. Maybe this is the reason for that. It seems to have been disconnected. That was easy if that was the problem. Let's try. Ignition on. Nothing. Oh, wait a second. I'm such an idiot sometimes. Neutral is no good. It needs to be in park. At least all other cars that I have owned with an automatic needs to be in park to be able to spin the engine, and neutral is not good enough. So I think that's the case. Didn't make sense that it made a clicking sound and all that if something more sinister was wrong. So let's try. Third time is the lucky time. No. So I think I made a little bit of progress, because when I turn the key, I get a small click. I actually thought it came from down here, but that's just a blinker flasher relay. Then I found out that the sound came from that box that I found earlier. Or not really actually, but behind that box. And then I open up this area that was blinded off by a plastic grill. And down there were 2 relays. I have taken one of them off. This is the other one. I just measured that I get 12 volts to one side of this relay, and then it should be activated by the smaller wires and then lead that 12 volt to the other one. That doesn't seem to work, but I think maybe because it's clicking that it's a connection issue. So I'm gonna take it off and clean off. To begin with, just clean off the terminals and see if that helps. Now I cleaned off the terminals and gave it a bit of a shake. Now I'm gonna try to refit it. Oh yeah. So now we are back at the point where we want to see the red light right there. Switching off, that means we have some oil pressure. What do you think? Will it work? Oh, there we go. And let's give it a break for a while. Let's try again. Oh, the yellow light went out and came back. So the yellow light must be oil pressure, because that's acting exactly like an oil pressure lamp. It's a bit weird that it's yellow and not red, but the red one must be battery light then. Let's try one more time. Off, yeah. Woohoo! We have oil pressure. So I think it's time. Plug this ignition coil in once again. I still don't know if the fuel pump is actually pumping fuel, so if it doesn't start, then I'm gonna test that. But let's... No more waiting, let's try. For some reason the fuel tank started to raise all the way to the top now. That can't be right. Okay, we're going to test for fuel. I have taken off the line that goes to the carb and put it into a bottle. Let's try to spin it and see if it fills up. Oh yeah, we have fuel. Not a lot, but a little bit. So fuel is getting to the carb. There's no way of knowing by checking this way that fuel are actually going into the carb, or if it even goes to the jets and all that. And yes, I know that the correct way of doing all this would be to take the carbs off and change and clean it out and all that. But I'd really like to do it this way and try to make it start without doing too much to it, because I really like the revival idea more than just restoration. I'm going to set up my remote starter because now I want to check for spark. And also I am a little bit worried about the compression still, but still the rings could be a bit stuck and all that, so it could get back to life all by itself. I'm just going to put it into ignition to make sure that the ignition system is on. And then using my remote starter, let's check for spark. Oh, we have a nice spark. Really nice. Okay, we are having, which is to be expected, fuel issues. What I'm going to do now is to take off the air filter assembly. And really I should have done this before, because I have no idea how the condition of the fuel filter is, air filter of course, and I really should have checked this before. If I were to write a book about how to revive a car that has stood for a long time, especially outside, one of the things would be check the air filter and the carb and the inlet before doing anything, because maybe some critters has been living in there. And this could end up being quite a problem, because remember, I just tried to start this car and that was a big mistake. Take a look at this. Something has been, someone has been living down here. This is bad, really bad. This alone is not bad, but this combined with a stupid guy who can't wait to start his new project is really bad. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take off the carb now, because I will most likely have sucked a lot of crap into the engine, and that is not good. Hopefully the butterflies themselves have kept it out, but I really don't think I'm that lucky. Oh no, it's inside. It's inside as well. Damn, I really should have thought about this. I really should have thought about it, actually. That was stupid. And I think I can already say now that I'm not going to start this car up today unless I'm really lucky. Really lucky. This was a stupid rookie mistake, actually. I'm really tempted to just cut this part of the video off and just pretend it never happened. But where's the fun in that? This is part of the fun of wrenching on old cars, in my opinion. You will be challenged from time to time, and mistakes is what you learn from. I have decided something. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to vacuum clean, and then I'm going to take all the spark plugs out. Then I'm going to crank it, and hopefully I can blow out crap that way. Because if damage occurred because of this, then then it's already happened. Because I remember I cranked it for quite a long time to make that oil pressure. And the good thing is that it's a mouse. And it seems to, I think it's a mouse at least. It could be a bird also, but no, I think it's a mouse. Of course it's a mouse. And I think mice likes organic material most. So if I'm lucky, it is not material that can damage the bores. And I'm just going to hope that. And hope it's not a mouse who found some stones or gravel for that instance. It's maybe a little bit of sand. It's maybe a bit hard to avoid. But yeah. There we go. It's off. Now I would like to shine light into the inlet. Oh, I think I'm lucky. I can't see any crap in there. So of course it could have just been sucked into the engine. There is a tiny bit on this side of the butterfly of that fiber stuff, but I'm still just gonna crank it with all the spark plugs out. So I'm gonna take them out, and then hopefully nothing happens to the engine. So all spark plugs are out. Now I'm gonna spin it, and hopefully we don't see a lot of crap come flying out of the engine. And if so, then hopefully that was all there is. Yeah, I'm trying to be a bit optimistic. Sometimes that helps. Let's see. Oh, my fuel plier is not strong enough to hold back that pressure. Just gonna find something to plug it with. So now it's plugged. Let's try again, see if stuff comes out. Well, that's good news. I'm gonna take the entire assembly off and clean it out. So here we have the dual SU carbs on the table. And as you can see, it's full of crap. I think, and if I was a cat, I think I would have lost 8 lives today. So only 1 left. But I think that because of this design, I have pretty much been saved by the bell, the SU bell, I think. Normally, when you open a butterfly on a carb, there will be free entrance into the engine or the inlet. In this case, being an SU carb, there is this damper valve that shuts down. That opens, the butterfly is on the other side, so when the butterfly opens, it will begin to suck air and it will push the dampening piston upwards. And that has not happened on this because it wouldn't be able to suck air in, so it wouldn't be able to lift it up. Therefore, I think that almost a lot of the crap has been jammed by that piston. And that is the reason why we don't really see any crap on the backside. There is a little, but it's almost nothing. Of course, there wouldn't be a lot in here because it would be sucked into the engine. Enough about all the excuses and enough about dibbly-dabbly-doop. I'm gonna clean this out, and I'm also gonna take the float cover off and check the floats and the needle and the jet down there, and then put it back on. Also, I'm gonna change this because that's cracked, so that's a bonus from all this. Haha! So maybe it was a good idea to to try to suck a mouse nest into the engine. So I tried to vacuum clean it, and that actually made the carb work. Maybe it did that already, but because of the suction, it actually sucked fuel from the needle valve, from the jet. And when I opened this up, it did it even more. So that part of it works. That's good. So stuff down here is looking really nice and clean. That's a good thing. Oh, there was fuel in it, but it was really disgusting. This is a bit more disgusting in here. But what I'm going to do now is to clean this one up and then clean this one and make sure that all the crap is out. Put it all back together. Change the rubber in between and then put it back on the car. I'm not going to go into great details about this because this is not a rebuild. This is a quick fix because I actually promised some of you guys that I would make another video today where I at least tried to start it up. And if I don't do it now, then it will be a couple of days. So to keep my promise, I will soldier on. Well, be back in a couple, a nanosecond for you guys, but maybe a bit more for me, and see you in a while. So the carb is back on the car. Well, both of them are, of course. I messed up the choke mechanism. The cable got frayed and I couldn't shorten it enough to actually make it fit. So right now it's not connected. So if it needs choke, I will do it manually. So now let's try to fire it up. But first, I'm just going to say sorry to the princess. Khaleesi. And this time I'm going to do it in the engine bay in case I need to give it a bit of choke. Can you feel that I'm really convinced that this is going to work? But let's just hope. All wires are connected. Of course it will have to pump fuel into the carbs because they're completely empty now, so nothing will happen for the first few seconds, but then hopefully. Let's see. And then try again. Oh. That was pretty close. The battery though is dying. We're gonna try another battery. Oh, we need to connect this to this. Oh, it's close. I'm holding the choke up right now. Let's try again. Oh, it is so close. Whoa, it's even idling. Did you hear how smooth the engine was? It seems to be missing on the first one, I think, to begin with, but I think it kicked in. And then I got nervous about the coolant. Of course, it won't overheat in a second, but being in an English car, you can't be too safe. So yeah, there is coolant in the system. So let's just start it up, straight up again, and then and then it is gurgling, but listen to it. I got a slight sound like a tappet, but well, it's a cold engine, so. Wow! And no, it's not just a sound effect that I put on to make it sound like it's running. It's actually running. Take a look at that. It is spinning, but it's completely smooth. Wow. Yeah, you guys told me it would be smooth, but this smooth? Oh, that's gurgling. I think there is some air bubbles in the system that is being pushed around. I have a feeling that it's this carb that's doing all the work right now, and not this one. Yeah, we have a bit of smoke, but I don't think it's anything to worry much about. This one is sucking a lot. This one is not at all. Almost. Well, I can make it, I can drown it using this. I should maybe be a bit careful. Yeah, I can drown it using that. So it is pulling in fuel from that one. Just doesn't seem like it. Maybe it's just not balanced correctly. It could be the case. But anyway, oh, it's a bit smoky in here. Remember all that oil I put in? But it's running. And it's really smooth. Really, really smooth. I have a feeling that this might be possible. This is what you call a smooth engine. So I think that the princess accepted my apology, because now it's just working. This was a really, really lucky thing for me, because I could have messed up quite a lot doing that, what I did with the air filter. I really have to remember that next time. So, and I'm just happy that it works. It's so smooth, extremely smooth. It's incredible, actually. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. This will be all for the Princess this time. I hope to drive it out of the garage if the gearbox works, and then hopefully giving it a wash and a clean inside. The inside is really smelling, and I think the mold is unhealthy, so I need to do something about that. So I want to get it outside as soon as possible, and then I have some other work to do on the Trabant and the Renault 5 GT Turbo, so it will be maybe a little while before the Princess gets back on the channel. Anyway, thank you for watching. Remember, you can support me on Patreon, and see you in the next one. And of course, we're not gonna end this video without doing this. Woohoo!